Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Sugarman Sports Complex. As tonight it is 2023 senior night here for Fort Lee Bridgman boys soccer action as they're going to be taking on the Golden Hawks of Riverdale here this evening under the lights. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, and joined by a special guest here and head coach Demba Main. Demba, leading up to this game, you get a chance to honor this senior class. Talk a little bit about what this senior class has meant to you over the last couple of seasons and how they've left their mark here on this Bridgman program.
Yeah, tonight we get to honor the seniors for the time and effort for the past 4 years. It's a really, really emotional, special night for me. A player like Kaito, who's been with the program for 4 years, and to watch his development has been amazing. I can't wait to see what he continued to do at the next level. It's not just Kaito. There's other players who've been with the program for 4 years, and it just gives me a great pleasure, the kind of commitment. They're not just interested. There's a difference between just being interested and being committed. When you commit to something, you do whatever it takes to be better. And I feel like these kids have done that, and I'm so proud for them and their families.
Certainly the senior class, if nothing else, they're going to be remembered as a team that knocked off Cliffside Park in what was an instant classic here under the lights. Talk about how they produced in clutch moments against a team at that point who was undefeated, an arch rival, and really made their legacy known here. And a big smile on your face right now recounting that win.
Yes, yes. We always up of Cliffside. I didn't even need to motivate the team. They knew what was at hand, and for a player like Kaito, for 3 years, never beat Cliffside, and that was something that he wanted, And I think the team came out. We played with sense of urgency, intensity. We matched the physicality. We were focused, and we got the result.
Now, you're talking about intensity and focus. Well, there's a lot to focus on with this game here tonight, not only honoring your senior class, but this is essentially a state playoff game. This is a kind of a feeling of win and you're in terms of all the power points. Riverdale is right there at the edge of the PowerPoint grouping, and you're trying to catch up and surpass them. What did you have to tell your team leading into this game of saying, hey, let's get ready, it's win or go home time?
Yes, we have to get back to basics, and we need to play with same sense of urgency on both sides of the ball, defensively, offensively. We need to focus better, and we need to be better in the final third. We haven't scored as many goals as we would like to because we don't have enough entries into the box, and that's the focus tonight. We need to have entries into the box as many times as possible.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here tonight to honor your seniors as part of senior night, and big smile on your face. Also, it's nice to not have to worry about the rain coming down here,
Absolutely.
as has been the case throughout the entire fall.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much, Dan, for always, doing the right thing for us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, my honor. So, again, we're leading up to opening kickoff here, as it's going to be Riverdale versus Fort Lee coming up shortly here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel.
this evening to celebrate the 2023 Fort Lee High School Boys Soccer Senior Night. It's been really a great night to honor all our seniors and their families for their contribution to the program. Before we begin, Coach Main would like to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kravitz, and the school administration for their continued support of the soccer program. A lot of things we do in our soccer program can't be pulled off without our parents. Coach Main would like to thank all the parents for their support, in particular, Cato's dad for filming all the games for the past 4 years. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Coach Main would like to thank Elaine Kim, Inso Kang, Audrey Kim, and members of the varsity soccer team for helping to make posters and decorating senior night for all our seniors. In addition, Coach Main would like to thank Athletic Director Mike Raftery, his secretary Helen Altamira, athletic trainer Tom Herr, and producer Dimitri Nanis for their support. Now to our seniors. He has a 3.7 GPA and is a fast player who plays hard. He has improved greatly over the course of the season, winning tackles and starting our offense. His favorite memories with the team were his sophomore year at the end of the season when the team sang on the bus ride home. Something that the team probably doesn't know about him is that he was born in Serbia. He wants to thank his mom and dad for always being supportive no matter what he does. Number 18, Matea Rapake. He has a 3.8 GPA and a 1510 SAT score. He is not built for cruising, but he is built for flat-out speed, the Ferrari of the team. A fast, athletic player who often runs onto the ball at top speed to make a play. One of his favorite memories with the team was scoring against rival Cliffside Park in his debut varsity game. Something the team probably doesn't know about him is that he sings on the praise team for his church. He would like to attend West Point next year and would like to thank his parents for their constant support and his friends for keeping him happy. Number 9, Daniel Lee. He has a 4.0 GPA and a 1230 SAT score. He may not get stats or his name in the paper, but his coaches and teammates know what an important contributor he is to the team. He sets the example by practicing hard, a good role model and a mentor to young teammates. He can be counted on to do the dirty work like marking opponents' best players, a strong defender with insane power. One of his favorite memories with the team was Hell Week, conditioning as he felt that moment brought the team closer and created a bond. Something the team probably doesn't know about him is that he was born and raised in Brooklyn. His plan is to go to college next year and achieve a degree in finance. He would like to thank God as he's the reason for everything he has in his life, and his family and teammates for always supporting him. Number 15, Tommy Yordiu. He has a 4.12 GPA, a playmaker at heart, always looking to make the next pass instead of scoring the next goal. It is very encouraging to see when he runs through midfield and is able to push forward and deliver a dangerous shot on goal or a dangerous pass. He is a 4-year varsity starter for the Bridgemen, a returning second-team All-League player in the Big North American Division. One of his favorite memories with the team was the run the team made in the Bergen Cup tournament last year. Something the team probably doesn't know about him is that he plays left back for his club team. His goal is to play college soccer next year, and he would like to thank his parents for always going to every game and filming the game for him. Number 10 and number 20, Kato Shinoda. He has a 2.6 GPA, the spark plug of the team. He put his neck on the line at his club game to make a play and picked up his season-ending injury. Even throughout the period of injury, he shows his dedication to the team by mentoring young teammates. One of his favorite memories with the team was scoring last year against North Arlington in the Bergen Cup to send the team to the semifinals. Something the team probably doesn't know about this player is that he's been playing soccer since he was 5 years old. He wants to become a physical therapist if soccer doesn't work out. He would like to thank his dad for introducing him to soccer and making many sacrifices for him. Alessandro Caradazzola. He has a 2.8 GPA and a 1050 SAT score. A tough midfield player who plays both ways and has a noise for the ball. He is a playmaker and he is always looking to dribble to unbalance the opponent and make the next pass instead of scoring the next goal. One of his favorite memories with the team is scoring the winning goal against rival Cliffside Park. Something the team probably doesn't know about this player is that he is bilingual. His future plan is for family business, and he would like to thank God and his beautiful mother. Number 26, Naoki Darkley. At this time, the Fort Lee Athletic Department would like to congratulate the Riverdale seniors as well. A big round of applause for the Riverdale seniors. Fans, make some noise for your Fort Lee seniors. Good luck to both teams tonight.
So again, welcome here to the Sugarman Sports Complex as we're moments away from the opening kickoff. Again is the 2023 Senior Night here for Fort Lee boys soccer action, as Fort Lee going to be taking on Riverdale in what essentially is going to be a state playoff game. The winner is going to be in prime position to garner one of those top 16 spots for the sectional playoffs in North 1 Group 3. The loser, well, it might be the end of the road for them, as both teams are going to be awaiting to see if they're going to have enough power points by the October 21st cutoff date. Riverdale 6-6 coming into play today. They are in the 15th spot. They would be in the playoffs if the playoffs started today. Fort Lee in the 18th spot. They are just outside the playoff picture, but a win here tonight against the Golden Hawks might be enough to jettison Fort Lee into that field of 16. Riverdale has one more game after this before the cutoff. That is a road match at Pascack Hills, while Fort Lee is going to be playing on the 21st against Hasbrook Heights. So again, Fort Lee takes care of business in their next two games. They will assuredly get into that field of the top 16. Fort Lee with 162.5 power points. and they trailed Dover, who's in that 16th and final spot, by about 14 points. So again, they consider by the playoff cutoff your top 12 PowerPoint performances on the season because Riverdale has 6 wins on the year, and this is a big-time matchup. This, if it is a win, would be one of the top 12 performances of the season for Coach Demba Main's side. John Graham is the head coach for Riverdale. Riverdale 6-6, coming in off a 4-1 defeat of Westwood in a league match recently. Fort Lee coming in off of that 1-0 shutout performance here against Ridgefield Park that really has kept their playoff life a possibility here because of that result. They could not get to a tie. So that win and then holding on for dear life, that's what mattered so much to Fort Lee in the last time out. Fort Lee once again is going to be in their October uniforms, which is the pink tops with the black shorts. Riverdale is going to be in the road white with the black shorts and the black numerals. Last meeting between both sides came last October 13th in Ordell. Riverdale was victorious by a final score of 4-1. Fort Lee won 1-0 at Riverdale in 2021. So both teams have split the last 2 meetings. Again, with so much on the line right now. Both teams in the Big North Conference. Riverdale out of the Big North Patriot, where they are currently in 3rd place behind Ramsey and Mawa. While Fort Lee is in 2nd place in the Big North American behind Cliffside Park. Fort Lee with a chance to get above 500 for the first time since September 14th. After having won 3 of their last 4 games, they're playing their best soccer of the season. Kaido Shinoda is one of the leaders for this team, one of the seniors honored in the ceremony just prior to opening kickoff. The senior leads the way with 10 points on the year for Fort Lee, 3 goals, 4 assists. He normally wears number 10, but in these pink uniforms, he'll be wearing number 20 in the midfield here tonight. And Vincent Scalclone, senior, number 7, 11 goals on the season for Riverdale. This is a high-scoring side. They average 2 goals a game to the Golden Hawks. Fort Lee has scored 1.4 goals per game this season, as you heard in our pre-match interview with head coach Demba Main. His team has not produced the offense to his liking this season as opposed to recent years where they've definitely found the back of the net much more often. But defensively, they've had their form. Certainly, like I said, in this recent run of success of winning 3 out of their last 4, they've been able to find a way to get the job done. Let's see if tonight they could once again produce here at the Sugarman Sports Complex, where they're 4-3-1 on the season. Riverdale has struggled a bit away from home. They're 2-5 overall this year. So a little bit of a delay because of the pregame ceremony and just getting the team sorted out here, but we are moments away from the start of tonight's action. A nice night here in northern New Jersey. 57 degrees at opening kickoff. Riverdale at one point was 5-3 on the season following their win on October 2nd, but have only gone 1-3 in their last 4 games. So it's kind of been the polar opposite of what Fort Lee has done. They've won 3 out of their last 4. Riverdale has lost 3 out of their last 4. Both teams in their respective final huddles before we get to the course of play here today. Dan Long, it's always been an honor to bring you the sights and sounds of Fort Lee boys soccer throughout the course of this season, the last couple of campaigns here. I'd like to thank the Fort Lee Athletic Department for their constant support of these online broadcasts, allowing fans around not only the country but around the world to link back to the Bridgman. So much on the line here tonight. We'll see if that intensity will match what is going to be on the line in terms of potential playoff berth. Riverdale wins today. They could pretty much assure themselves of entry into the postseason. Fort Lee wins today. They move that much closer to getting into the field of 16. And we are underway with Fort Lee with possession on offense. Kaido Shinoda passing over to the far side, and it looked like they were just trying to get it at the feet of one of the Fort Lee players before quickly subbing them off. So with one of the injured players getting a touch of it here on senior night, nice sportsmanship displayed by Riverdale to allow that to happen, and then the player, and like Granazola, was able to just come off the field, and then we resume play. That'll trickle its way out of bounds. Will be a resulting throw-in now for Fort Lee. If you're Riverdale, not only do you just want to make sure that you get entry into the postseason, but you want to stay away from that top seed. Right now, that top spot in North 1 Group 3 being occupied by Ramapo, the consistent state and county powerhouse, who are going to be playing against Ramsey in the Bergen County final. They're the top overall team in terms of power points in this group. Mount Olive behind them, Old Tappan third. Jonah Nippes is the senior goalie for Riverdale. Elias Alkin in goal, the sophomore for Fort Lee. He's in the gray to the left side of the screen. Nippes in the blue to the right side. And Fort Lee get off to a hot start? That's the question. Against Dwight Morrow, they were on their heels a bit. Cliffside Park, they got off to the good start. After the game was knotted up in the second half, 1-1, they still were able to produce the thing of beauty to knock off the Red Raiders in the second half. Were able to produce in the second half in their win against Ridgefield Park. As that's stolen away to the near side by Rapaic. But knocked out of bounds, so it's going to be a throw-in here for Riverdale. June Kim, number 17. Has that one deflected in the midfield. Stolen away. Here's an opportunity. Dartley trying to move around that last defender, but he gets his pocket picked. Along to the far side, slid forward by Riverdale on a dummy run. Golden Hawks trying to track it down around the 25-yard line. Fort Lee not going to take any chances. They're just going to clear it simply out of bounds to the near side. Resulting throw-in now here for the Golden Hawks. Kino Malat, number 22. Malat has it over to the near side, being watched by Grant Kang, number 6. Riverdale 4-4 in the Big North Patriot, 6-6 overall on the season. Miss hit briefly by Fort Lee, and again, they're just going to clear it out of bounds to the near sideline. Riverdale with wins this season against Indian Hills, Pascack Hills, Dwight Morrow, Park Ridge, Westwood. Twice this season they took down the Cardinals. Dwight Morrow, that thorn in the side of Fort Lee this season, as a set piece earned by Riverdale. As June Kim, who has 2 assists on the season, will line it up from around the 15-yard line. Fort Lee with a 3-man wall trying to take away an angle here to the near side. Curling ball inside, pinballed around inside the box and cleared out of harm's way. So Riverdale with the first prime scoring opportunity, not getting a shot on target just yet. They take it to the far side, losing their footing, and that rolls out of bounds harmlessly for a goal kick. As that'll go out to Alkin. Houken getting prepared to kick this one away. Had 5 saves in that clean sheet victory against Ridgefield Park. Their last fixture on October 12th. Dartley trying to track it down and comes to the feet of Kaido Shinoda. Kenta Watanabe has that one deflected, played up top though by Rapaic. Rapaic had the only goal in that win against the Scarlets of Ridgefield Park. Played up top. Joshua Tarifa, number 10. 4 goals on the season, number 10 in white and black for Riverdale. Watanabe skying that pass forward, staying onside and coming all the way out to try to cut down the angle was Nippes. It's a good decision by the Riverdale goalie because Daniel Lee was coming down there on the far side with a full sprint. If he stuck in his goal, that was going to be a breakaway opportunity for the Bridgemen. Nippes had 3 saves in the victory against Westwood their last time out. Had a season-high 7 saves against Ramsey. And last season had 4 saves in the win against the Bridgemen. Knocked down in the midfield by Kang. Now to Dartley. Misplay over to the near side. Good anticipation on that play. Clowney was trying to get to it. Out of bounds it goes for a throw-in. Chipped away, but right back to Fort Lee. So here come the Bridgemen trying to track it down in the middle of the field. Good chip forward there by Riverdale, and eventually it's going to be a foul whistle against Fort Lee. Dennis Ozcan was the one who was fouled on the play, the sophomore, who had garnered possession momentarily and then was knocked down. Free kick upcoming now for Riverdale. Taken on one hop by the Fort Lee netminder. Aggressive play, stepping up in the midfield there and trying to go wide with it was Fort Lee. Misstep on that time defensively by Kanta. Leads to a shot opportunity, but kind of whiffing on that opportunity was Riverdale. And eventually it's going to be cleared out of bounds to the far side. Riverdale doing a nice job effectively of stepping up with their back line and choke off possession in the midfield. Just trying to generate some service now. Nice little flick pass over to the near side. Kim centering ball with another driving offensive player from distance, and that shot whistled wide of the mark from distance as well. So June Kim doing a little of the facilitating, waiting for another player to crash in front of the middle of the net. And then the shot was just taken wide from the perimeter. But a good build-up the last couple of possessions here for Riverdale. Again, this is kind of a win-and-you're-in type of playoff game feel to this game here in the late stages of the regular season. Riverdale wins this, they could pretty much assure themselves of a playoff bid. Then it just comes down to seeding and trying to stay away from having to play Rampo in the first round. For Fort Lee, they've got to jump over a couple of teams to get into the playoff field. And a win here tonight against a Riverdale side that has 6 wins on the season would go a very long way to helping them get a much-needed boost in terms of power points and get into that field. Bridgemen have made the playoffs the last 2 seasons in one of the toughest sections in the North. Kanta kicks that one backwards up in the air. Throw in now. Ponce tried to get a piece of it. They're going to call a handball. Looks like it is going to be a handball outside the box area, but it's going to be setting up a free kick now here for Riverdale. Dangerous spot on the field like we saw just a couple of minutes ago for the Golden Hawks. Once again, Fort Lee will defend with a three-man wall to the near side. Ten minutes into the start of this first half, and Riverdale with another good scoring opportunity. Fort Lee trying to be sound defensively. That's an effort that curls right on target. Good shot opportunity there for Riverdale. Good job of anticipating the direction of that shot by Alcan. Sophomore for Fort Lee making his first save of the night. Just about to say the Bridgemen would certainly love a little possession here, but that goes wide of the mark and out of play to the far side for a Riverdale throw. Taken away. Here comes Riverdale again, trying to feed it up top. Colony could not get to it in time. Again, he's the leader in this offense for Riverdale. Cloney, 2 goals, 1 assist in the last game against Westwood. He's not that far off from the season total of goals for Fort Lee as a team. 18 goals on the season for the Bridgemen, and number 7 in white with 11 goals himself. One of the leading goal scorers in all of Bergen County. Good ball up top. Fort Lee tried to fit it behind that last defender, as making the run was Daniel Lee down the near side. Kim trying that diagonal ball. Now Cloney stepping on top of the ball that time. That denied him a goal-scoring opportunity. Played back now to June Kim. Ozcan will trock it down. Header attempt on goal, and Alcan will make the stop. So another stop on a shot opportunity, this time off the head of the sophomore June Kim. Fort Lee looking for a little possession, a little more offensive creativity. Riverdale not having any of it. They've had the opportunities here on offense. That's the best shot and save opportunity of the night. Alcan diving over to his right side to make the save. Already 3 shots in just the last 5 minutes alone for Riverdale. Fort Lee really struggling now to gain and garner and keep that possession. They go wide to the far side. Again, so much on the line for the Bridgemen here this evening. And they want to honor their seniors on a high note as well. 6-6-1 on the season is Fort Lee. There's 6 wins, 2 of which came against Dumont. They swept away the Huskies this season. They defeated Paramus Catholic. They had their marquee victory here at home against Cliffside Park. They defeated Ridgefield and Ridgeville Park. Not cleared yet out of the defensive third. Getting it up top to Lee. Lee trying to go to the wide side, and a little too long that time, looking up for his teammate, Mateo Rapake. Riverdale turns it right over as well, as now Demba Main will go to his bench, make a couple of subs. Oh, it looks like a pair of new defenders coming into this game now for the Bridgemen. 25.5 minutes left to go in a scoreless first half of play. Thanks for tuning in to Fort Lee Boys Soccer action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Stolen away by Riverdale. Good dizzying dribbling. Now playing it over wide to the far side to Ozcan. Coming off one of our most thrilling broadcasts of the season yesterday afternoon. Fort Lee Volleyball, the girls team defeating arch rival Cliffside Park to win a share of their 4th straight Big North American Division Championship. Winning in 3 sets. And again, it was a fever pitch inside East Gymnasium yesterday afternoon. Had a large contingent of visiting fans from Cliffside Park that added to the atmosphere, and it was an honor and a pleasure to broadcast that one. And the cherry on top being that the Bridgmen came away with a thrilling win in 3 sets, as they're now in the top 2 in power points in their standings. Meaning if they have a couple of home games in East Gymnasium in the postseason, we'll have you covered here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Alcan kicking it close to midfield, and stepping back up is Riverdale. Gregory Knorr, number 16, was aggressively, as the Golden Hawks have been doing all first half long, stepping up around that midfield stripe to win back possession to their midfield and to their forwards up top. Track down to the near side. Malott. Here he is now. Trying to show off the fancy footwork. It was last touched by Fort Lee out of bounds, so it'll be a resulting throw-in for Riverdale. Bridgmen are asking a lot of their defense right now. Trying to stay in this game despite this first half really being in control by Riverdale. They have nothing to show for it just yet. Pass over to the near side, a track back. It's Ben Kang, number 12, but Kang left the ball behind him. Riverdale trying to get to it and also trying to buy a call as well. Scout Cloney was the one who was trying to go airborne, and he's looking over at the official of the near side, and he's trying to argue for what would have been a potential penalty kick. Said it just goes out for a goal kick. This is the first time that Riverdale has come here to the Sugarman Sports Complex since September 11th, 2019. That day, it ended in a 2-2 draw. Take it to the near side. Long ball. 2 defenders back for Riverdale to clean things up. Rohan Yanam, number 48, the junior defender, was the one who got to the ball and had calm and cool demeanor to clear that away. Misfired on the pass attempt that time as Luca Musano, number 18, tried to head it to a teammate. And ricochets off of Riverdale last will be a throw-in on the far side near midfield for Fort Lee. They are in the pink tops with the black shorts. In the white tops and the black shorts is Riverdale. Bridgman with the offensive buildup. Good ball backwards into the midfield. Now back-heeled it. Bridgman trying to build up a little possession, getting it into the offensive end, just slithering it a little too long. Was going to be offside anyway, as the official behind the play even had his arm up. As we are slowly making our way to the midway point of a scoreless first half, much more offensive opportunities for the visitors from Oradell here today. Fort Lee has not generated a real quality shot opportunity just yet. They've barely even been able to possess and set up shop in the offensive end of the field yet. Trying to get it to the feet of Marcus Lee, number 11, who's checked into the game, did not start here tonight. Now it's Landon Kaplan. Shinoda gets fouled. And the Stars senior, good sportsmanship between he and Scout Coloni, and now it's going to be a free kick for Fort Lee. Talapian playing it wide to Kanta. Stolen away as Riverdale once again dispossessing Fort Lee, but Fort Lee returns the favor. Bridgman just have not been able to get that sprint in where they could really start to put some pressure on the back line. Here's a counterattack opportunity for Riverdale. Trying to get the ball centered to the top of the box, but again misplayed that time. Golden Hawks rushing a little too much. And a little more time than they thought that they actually were awarded, and that goes out for the goal kick. We will be back inside East Gymnasium tomorrow afternoon as Fort Lee is going to be trying to continue their stellar season. As the Bridgemen, who are 18-3 on the season, taking on Mawa. The Thunderbirds will come calling as Fort Lee trying to pick up another win and get closer and closer to maybe procuring one of those top 2 or 3 seeds in the upcoming sectional state playoffs. That's coming up tomorrow at 4:15 here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Nipes, who is trying to throw that one over to the far side. Both teams coming in off of wins in their last couple of matches, as now Fort Lee playing it wide to the far side. Knocked down to the far side, but Riverdale trying to take advantage after Fort Lee defender slips, losing the balance. Here's the counterattack opportunity down the other way. Centering ball with the back heel, but again, nobody lurking on the near side. Alcan will pick it up. Won't have an opportunity, just drop kick it away. Tries the quick counterattack. That's a misplay there by Riverdale. That's going to lead to the breakout the other way. Could this be a shooting opportunity for Fort Lee? No. It's parried away out of bounds to the near side by Yanum. It was a mistake, one of the brief mistakes and the rare ones so far in the first half for the defense of Riverdale. And that led to the race down the other way for Marcus Lee. Lee just could not get to it in time for a shooting angle. So that'll go out of bounds. They're going to say that is instead going to be the throw-in. I guess they were going to be trying to take a real quick restart. As Kanta knocks it down in his side of the 50. Chip pass all the way down will be handled on a hop there by Nippes, the senior. 85 saves last season. He's got 35 saves this season. Played over. Now stolen away and chipped forward to the near side. Kim trying to locate the ball. As that'll go out of bounds, will be an offensive zone opportunity here for Riverdale as we're coming up on the final 16 minutes of the first half. Still scoreless in what essentially amounts to a playoff game here tonight. A lot on the line as, again, Riverdale right now would be in the postseason if the playoffs started today. Riverdale just outside looking in. As that goes out of bounds to the far side. Be a throw in now for Riverdale on the far side as Kanta anticipates that, trying to play it forward. Another back heel pass. This time it works beautifully for Riverdale. They take the shot from the far side, miss it along to the near side left. That goes out of bounds for another goal kick. But another good possession, another good build up here for Riverdale. So they're trying to produce that first goal of the game. Top 12 results in regards to power points, the deciding factor in making the field of 16. The playoff cutoff is after games are played on October 21st. So after games are done on Saturday, the top 16 teams, according to PowerPoint accumulation, will field the playoff format for all the different sections throughout the state. Shot from distance, that's a tough one in between Hop, but Elkan, good positioning that time. Squaring his chest right in front of the ball and also having an ability, if he had it deflect, to quickly pounce on the rebound. Nice build up to the far side. Fort Lee just lost possession though. Looks like it might have been offside. The official call. The official did not put that arm up. Might have been saying something right when the players held possession to the far side. Now they'll have the free kick. 14 minutes left to go in the first half. Malott gets his opportunity erased. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by our producer, Dimitri Nanis, and Renee Matisic making an appearance for the first time in a while. And might I add, on time as well. Good to see Renee back on a nice October evening. Again, just under 60 degrees at opening kickoff. It's one of those rare times, even at night, and certainly during the day, that it has not been raining. I know that we potentially will have more storms in the forecast for the weekend, but boy, it's nice to be nice and dry. Fort Lee just can't produce that offensive possession yet here in the first half. Riverdale's just done a really solid job. Coach John Graham has his team situated in the correct formation. Fort Lee taking a little slower approach. That was a little more dangerous than it needed to be. Can't be as casual with the pass back to the goalie there with a couple of fast forwards trying to breathe down the goalie's neck. There's the whistle, and it looks like it's handball, the call. So it's going to be possession on a free kick for Fort Lee just at midfield. Under 12 and a half minutes remaining in the first half. Taken wide by Riverdale. Ishan Talapian stole back that possession for Fort Lee. Fort Lee trying to make the turn on the defender. Good maneuvering by Riverdale, but the ball does eventually find the way to number 26, Dartley. Tarifa. Both teams just losing possession in the midfield. Centering ball, knocked down at the legs. Good sound defensive work there by the Bridgeman. Dartley still with it. Good dribbling display, plays it wide to the near side. Kang, centered ball, went backwards into the midfield. Fort Lee carving out a space. Here's Dartley. He's open on the breakaway. Dartley takes the shot, just misses to the wide left side. Inches away from producing here on senior night because of his teammate kind of turning a defender and having that defender fall down from behind the play. The ball found its way to the feet of Naoki Dartley. Dartley had a breakaway, just he one-on-one with the keeper. He had the keeper beat to that far post side. He was just trying to slide it in, and it just missed by a couple of feet. There's an injured Fort Lee player down on the turf behind the play. Clock will stop with 10:56 left to go. We'll take the injury timeout with him. And Fort Lee with the best scoring opportunity of the night, just not that far away from taking a 1-0 lead here on Riverdale. Ishan Talapian was the injured Fort Lee player who's having to be helped off the field to the far sideline, the sophomore defender. So hopefully he's going to be okay, and we'll see him relatively soon back in this game. With the injury stoppage, clock stopped, 10:56 left to go in the first half. Scoreless here. Fort Lee just moments ago, right before that injury timeout, had their best scoring opportunity of the game. Naoki Dartley, close to producing what would have been his fourth goal this season, would have also broken this scoreless tie. Or at least starting to step up the pressure a little bit more. Scott Cloney was trying to get that one down to the near side. Riverdale trying to save the possession. Or was it deemed to have gone out? It was, just underneath our broadcast vantage point. So Dartley will throw it back in. Deflected last touch out of bounds, so once again it's going to be Watanabe trying to maneuver through. Throw in now upcoming in the defensive third for Riverdale as we're under the final 10 minutes of the first half. Riverdale has had a great number of opportunities in this first half as well. They've had more of the possession. Here's another great opportunity presenting itself down the near side angle, trying to tip that one forward. They do get it off of the goalie, so they will earn a corner kick. So Riverdale operating in tight quarters that time. Scout Cloney was trying to see if he could maybe chip that with an angle over the goalie's waiting hands, but deflected it instead of off of Alcan and earned himself a corner for his team. Came from the near side all the way to the far side, but not in a shooting-ready position. Now they drift the crosser over to the near side. Kim. Kim gets it around the double team. Fort Lee on its heels a little bit here defensively, and they'll surrender another corner. No, they're going to say that that went out of bounds. Last touch off of a Riverdale player, so that will go out for a goal kick instead. Ball's still loose. It's left out in front. Little miscommunication. It looked like one Riverdale player was ready to uncork the shot. Slowed down his progress because he saw his teammate cutting out in front of him. They will earn another corner on the far side flag, so Riverdale is really bringing the pressure now. 3 different corners on this one offensive buildup, as Fort Lee is just desperately trying to find its way into halftime, still having this scoreless. Bounces around inside the box. Comes all the way out to the near side. Kim gets around a defender. Pinballed in front. Possession secured by Fort Lee. They just blindly trying to send it up the field. Stolen right back by Riverdale. Gallucci playing it over to the near side. Too long as that goes out of bounds. Popped up. Fort Lee really needs a positive result from this game. They can't even afford to have a tie. Dartley stealing it away. Dartley trying to play it wide. His teammate trying to save it as well, but he can't do so. It deflects out of bounds. It's now going to be Riverdale possession. Riverdale not that far away from the 14th seed in terms of power points, Wayne Hills. So if a win here tonight, they could see them jump over a couple of teams. Both teams at 500 on the season, both with 6 wins apiece. Riverdale popping that skyward to the far side. Headed around the defensive end. Riverdale trying to shoulder to it. Get it knocked down, blocked in front before it could get on target. Once again, Kata losing his balance. Fort Lee has been betrayed by their footwear a couple times in this first half. Good defensive work, though. It was down the other way. Fort Lee, they had that one big break offensively that got the ball to one of their forwards. But other than that, they've been camped out for the majority of this first half, deep in its defensive end. Riverdale with a nice build-up. Popping it forward on the volley, but unable to track it down. Is it going to go out of bounds for a corner or for a goal kick? Riverdale player operating like it was going to be a corner, but instead, no, it will be a corner kick. Everybody was starting to move down the field as if it were going to be a goal kick. Pair of subs being made by Demba Main. So after all that, the ball was taken away. It is going for a goal kick. So you had a Riverdale player who's incredulous right now, thinking that he had earned clearly his team a corner on the far side flag. He'd even set up there in front of that far flag, only to be told that it was in fact goal kick opportunity and possession for the defense. Watanabe trying to knock it down with the feet. Dartley playing it backwards. Spinning and now whistle. We don't know if that was offside or if that was a foul. The referee just whistled and then spoke to the players, did not make any arm gestures. How dare he? Doesn't he know that this game is being broadcast here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel? Trying our best to keep up with these players and with these officials. 3:55 and counting left to go in a scoreless first half. Knocked down. Worley trying to win back the possession, and they do. Good dispossession, but again, the run was stopped up top. Only playing one forward up top. And different parts in this formation. Now Dartley has played his way up top again. Worley's been starved for goal scoring all season long, averaging 1.4 goals per game. Riverdale. The ball left behind in the box, ricocheted and blocked away. Again, good defensive backtracking there by Riverdale as they steal back the possession. That was Malott who came by. Back wide the other way. And played back to the defense of Yanham. Outside of that one gaff, Riverdale has been rock solid defensively. They have not really been giving up shot opportunities, certainly not giving up possession either. Fort Lee's got to do the little things, continue to build up. Here's a nice build up here on the far side. Start and stop, but unable to track down that possession as the ball will roll out of bounds. 2:25 and counting left to go before halftime. Again, Fort Lee will have one more game remaining before the playoff cutoff. On Saturday, they have a game against the Aviators of Hasbrook Heights, but that won't really move the needle the same way as a win here tonight would. It'll be interesting if this game is still scoreless heading to halftime. Lee really tries to maybe open it up a little bit more offensively, knowing that they need to score a goal. Played forward. Shinoda playing it wide. Kaido Shinoda, the playmaker here for Fort Lee, trying to, again, fit it in a tight window up top. Dartley was asking for the service. Dartley's shot was maybe the best shot opportunity of the game for either team. Clowney was trying to go high and wide with it to the far side as he was trying to get a teammate running underneath it. Fort Lee has that ricochet. Last touch out of bounds off of Riverdale last will be a throw-in for Fort Lee right in front of the Bridgman bench. And Demba Main, we thank him again for joining us in our pregame talk. Something that we're going to be trying to highlight throughout the course of our broadcasts. Getting a chance to talk with some of the coaches before the course of their games that we cover here on these free YouTube broadcasts. We thank all of them for their cooperation and their support of promoting their programs and promoting their student athletes. Out of bounds to the far side. 30 seconds now left to go here in the first half. Not a lot of fireworks here so far on senior night for Fort Lee. They had a great opportunity that just went by the wayside off the foot of one of their senior stars in Naoki Dartley. But other than that, it's been a game that Riverdale, for the most part, has controlled possession-wise. But no advantage for either team after the first 40 minutes of scoreless soccer. So stick around, fans, as we're going to be headed to the start of the second half after this short timeout here at halftime as you're watching Fort Lee Bridgman Soccer on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sugarman Sports Complex as we're moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half between Riverdale in the white and black and Fort Lee in the pink and black. And this is what has amounted to a quasi-state playoff game. Second to last game before the playoff cutoff date. This has enormous playoff implications on the line. If Fort Lee can find themselves to a win here tonight, that would most likely do the job of putting them into one of the top 16 seeds in the upcoming North 1 Group 3 playoffs. A win here for Riverdale would lock up a playoff spot as well and possibly push the Golden Hawks further up the food chain and get a chance to jockey for some position in North 1 Group 3. Naoki Dartley had the best opportunity for either team. He had a breakaway, tried to go far post side and didn't miss by much when out of play, and that was really the lone scoring threat to think of in that first half for Fort Lee. The first half was controlled time of possession on offense, shot opportunities, free kicks, corners, you name it, by Riverdale, but they have nothing to show for it in a scoreless first 40 minutes of play. Tonight is senior night, honoring the 6 seniors here at Fort Lee prior to the start of today's game. I don't know why there's a bit of a delay here, as now the official finally whistles the resumption of play, and we are underway in the start of the second half. Thanks for joining us on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, and Renee Matisic bringing you the sights and sounds. Here's Dartley already getting the ball out, but Rapaic ran more to the near side, and Dartley's offering was more angled to the far side. Those two combined in on the lone goal in the last game, a 1-0 victory for Fort Lee against league rival Richfield Park here at the Sugarman Sports Complex. Riverdale trying to track down the possession themselves, trying to chip that one over the back line, but Watanabe did a nice job of standing tall there on the far side. Rapaic trying to get back to it. Misplay there by Riverdale. Rapaic, though, went right back into the feet of the defender. That allowed Riverdale to clean it up. So a couple of good opportunities here offensively to start off this second half for Fort Lee. Dropped off, deflected, still in the course of play. Over to the near side. Ozcan was trying to get it to his teammate. Dartley comes out of the pack with it, trying to leave it at the feet of his teammate Kang to the near side. Connor Galucci, number 2 for Riverdale, doing a good job of holding possession on that near side against Kang. And eventually it's just sent right back in as Elias Alcan will now take care of it. Came up high on Kanta and a little too high. Handball is going to be the call. Free kick upcoming for Riverdale. Again, Riverdale has scored 24 goals this season in 12 games, an average of 2 goals a contest. They're 2-5 on the road, trying to pick up their 7th win of the season, get above 500, as well as Fort Lee is trying to get above 500. They are 6-1 on the season. Free kick right now is at the 25-yard line. I think the handball occurred 10 yards away, and I think that's what the official was also counting off. They're going to push him back just 5 yards at the 30. Rohan Yanam. Looks like he'll be handling this delivery on the set piece. To the far side it goes, and that'll roll its way out of bounds for a Fort Lee goal kick. Again, after this one, Riverdale will hit the road again to take on Pascack Hills before ending their season at home on October 23rd against Mawa. Fort Lee will host Hasbrook Heights for traveling to Cliffside Park, and then will once again finish off the regular season here at home against Passaic Valley. That'll come on October 25th. headed backwards by Riverdale. That went off the head of Anthony Gatia. Goes into the Golden Hawks bench. Will be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Taken away by Watanabe. Looking for Marcus Lee. Lee's got some speed to burn. Can he get some space, though? That's the question. Karam's out of play, so it'll be a throw-in. And building up in the offensive third. Now possession for Fort Lee. Drop kick down the other way. Conta allows that to roll out of bounds. Worley trying to step up and win back possession. Shinoda's been relatively quiet. He's that facilitator in the midfield for Fort Lee. There's Marcus Lee trying to pop it forward to Dartley. Dartley unable to check it down. Karam's out to the midfield. Good defensive work there by Fort Lee. Bridgman playing it quickly over to Kaplan to the near side. Coming back to try to win back the possession was Gregory Knorr. And a foul's going to be whistled against Fort Lee. So possession's going to be going on the free kick now to Riverdale. Free kick upcoming for Riverdale as they play it short. Quick service up top to Lee. He's got Dartley streaking down the other way. Good ball played up top to Lee again. He stayed onside. No, they're going to say offside the call. Late whistle by that official on the far side. A bit of a delay call there from the official after looked like initially it was going to be offside, but then after no immediate whistle happened, it looked like the play just kept on going until that arm was raised on the far side official. Chested down, trying to free up to the near side, Musano. Goes out of play. Nice crowd assembled here, as you'd come to expect on these senior nights. Family and friends coming out to cheer on the seniors in one of their last games here at the Sugarman Sports Complex. Great matchup, too. With everything on the line, evenly played game, scoreless here between two teams with 6 wins apiece on the year. Jockeying for potential playoff life as that goes out of play to the near side. Throw-in upcoming now for Grant Kang and Fort Lee. Down on the near side, Marcus Lee trying to go shoulder to shoulder with Connor Galucci. One of the referees having some words with Jonah Nippes, the keeper for Riverdale, and I don't think it's exchanging Twitter handles. Might have been a case of Nippes saying something and an official trying to tell him to stop talking. Just a hypothetical, but it did stop play for a moment as that far side official had a couple of words with the netminder. Header pass was trying to free up Dartley. Popped away in the air. Scalconi was trying to get to it. Out of bounds it goes to the near side. Once again, it's going to be possession on the throw for Fort Lee. Lee trying to get to it. Kaplan, centered ball. Parried away, though, by Riverdale. Cloney was not able to track that one down. Fort Lee doing a good job so far of knowing where number 7 is at all times. That pass is taken away by Kaplan, but just behind his intended passing target in Marcus Lee. Lee was cutting more to the left. The pass meant more to the right. Lee trying to stay on side. After he was trying to turn on his defender, much like we saw with that breakaway opportunity for Dartley in the first half. His teammate kind of shielded off the defender, and that allowed the ball just to trickle out in space to Dartley. He went down the near side. Here he is now going down the near side in this direction. Shot it wide, but now he's going to be called for offside on this side of the field. Had the shot and had a great angle as well. Yeah, the goalie committed to the near side. He tried to slide it to the far post, and his accuracy just betrayed him. Over to the far side. And Riverdale defending. Fort Lee generating much more offensive possessions and opportunities with long passes in this half. Now Riverdale, with a collision ensuing, was trying to track down that ball. Riverdale still with their player down on the turf as that went back to the keeper for Fort Lee. Fort Lee player is still down. Now the referee finally whistles for a timeout. It looked like John Graham, the head coach of Riverdale, was furious with the official on that sideline. And a yellow card is now shown to the Riverdale head coach. He'd been protesting the whole way. As he was thinking that that was a little more malicious and maybe worthy of a card itself. It's good to see that the Riverdale player hopping up and off the field and underneath his own power. Looked like it was Luca Musano, number 18. That official has had a lot of conversations with coaches, with players. Now he's having a conversation, a long-winded conversation with Demba Main. And a yellow card has been shown now to both coaches. And the referee's still having words with Demba Main on the far side as the match has resumed. At some point, you got to officiate the game and not worry about what people are saying, as that's played outside the box. Was Demba Main ejected from the game? He's on the far sideline still, but the referee was kind of moving him further and further away. Just bizarre couple of moments here as yellow card shown to both head coaches after that collision ensued in the far side of the field in the offensive end for Riverdale. So back to the course of play, goes out of bounds to the near side. A lot of the line here in this game. Teams and both coaches know it. Going to go out of bounds for a deep offensive throw for Fort Lee, trying to take that initial lead in this game. Really put the pressure on. Dartley, good ball to the near side. Shinoda. Shinoda takes the shot, fires a Nippus with his first big save of the night. Shinoda had it settle down to his feet. Dartley with a great feed and service over to him. Shinoda didn't have that much time to look up and just fired it on target, and Nippus stood his ground and made the save. I believe that Demba Main, the head coach of Fort Lee, was shown a pair of yellows from the official. He is now behind the fencing, behind the sideline on the far side of the Sugarman Sports Complex. And as you heard in our pregame interview, Demba is one of the nicest and mild-mannered players and coaches that you'll ever meet. So it must have been something that drew his ire to get underneath the skin of that official who, again, I don't know what it was, but he threw and issued 2 quick yellow cards. Played along to the near side. Taken in by Marcus Lee. Lee started running out of room, though, as that went out of bounds. Kind of lost track of where the lines were, even on his home field, as that goes out of bounds. The far side. Fort Lee trying to track it down to that far side. Ball stolen away by Riverdale. Golden Hawks with a good opportunity here inside the box on the outer vestiges. They take a low-lining shot opportunity, blocked away. Fort Lee's done a good job of getting in the shooting lane throughout the course of today's game. That's taken on one bounce there by Alcan, and no harm, no foul. Nearly a collision ensued, but the sophomore will just drop kick it away. Fort Lee going to be led by others of the training staff and the coaching staff, as Demba Main, it looks like, has been ejected from this game as just a simple bystander watching from the far field. Crazy couple of minutes here. Will that somehow spark Fort Lee now? Left into the box. Karam's off the leg of Yanum. Played to the top of the box side. Took a weird bounce, went away from Watanabe. Long service back the other way. Alcan will have to backtrack just a step to make that recovery. Again, Riverdale, I think, didn't know how much time they had. They had an opportunity to maybe take it a couple more strides down the near side. That goes out of bounds. Will be a throw-in now on the offensive end for Riverdale. Sub coming into the game now for Coach John Graham's side. Golden Hawks trying to search for that opening goal here in this game. Good to see number 18, Luca Musano, back into the game for Riverdale. He's the one who got injured, and that led to all the yellow cards for the 2 coaches. Along to the near side. Conta tried to clear it up. Ball was still loose. Riverdale nearly split a double team. Fort Lee doing a good job of bringing that down out of midair. Here's a breakout attempt for Marcus Lee. He's got to use that speed, but he can't get by that initial defender in Yanum. Played to the far side. 17 minutes gone by here in the second half. It is still scoreless soccer at the Sugarman Sports Complex. Drifting pass a little too far for Riverdale to track down. That'll go out for a goal kick. Again, this amounts to pretty much a state playoff game here today. Fort Lee wins. They're going to really get close to punching their ticket to play in a third consecutive state postseason. A loss would pretty much erase any chance of playing in the sectional playoffs in North 1 Group 3. A tie would not be the worst thing, but certainly would not be the best thing, as Fort Lee has ground to make up. They are right now coming into play today, 18th in power points, 16 seeds are given out to the top 16 in power points. So a tie is not going to suffice. They need to get going here as we're coming up on the midway point of the second half. Watanabe to the far side is going to go out of bounds and will be a throw-in for Riverdale. Ball left behind. Here's a big turnover potentially. Fort Lee trying to roll it to the far side, but the offside flag is up as Shinoda was desperately trying to stay on the line, but Riverdale does a good job of having that back line step up a little bit to induce the offside. Denham was trying to step up with it. Kaplan doing a good job of winning it back for Fort Lee. Kaplan again rolling that one, but really there was no teammate to roll it to. Now Kaplan steals it away. Let's see if he gets a shot off. He does. It deflects. That should be out of bounds, and they're going to say that it's last touch off of Fort Lee. I thought with a naked eye that had taken a little bit of a carom and a deflection, might have been off a defender for Fort Lee, or excuse me, for Riverdale, but the official on the far side had the better angle and called it out for a goal kick instead. Knocked down there by Samuel Choi. Again, he plays it right back to a Riverdale player. Riverdale draws the foul and the contact to the near side. Now Cloney was using that speed and then got slowed up a bit. Took a tumble and drew the contact. Here's a free kick for Riverdale. Setting up just outside the 20-yard line as we are coming up on the midway point of this second half. 20 minutes and counting left to go in regulation. Service to the far side, and that just kept on curling over to the far left. Betrayed Galucci. No chance for a teammate to run underneath that for a volley. Out of bounds it goes. We thank you all for your support of these student athletes from both fine schools for tuning in and watching this game either live or anytime on demand, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. We hope more schools will follow suit and start to stream a lot of their different athletic events. Thank Mike Raftery for his support, the athletic director here at Fort Lee. Pass up the near side wing to Grant Kang. Kang trying to lead his teammate forward, but again, just a little too long. That allows Nippus to track down that ball before any advance of Daniel Lee. Riverdale with a shot. Ambitious effort from well up top. Well wide of the mark as well. And it's been a while. 2019, last time these two teams collided here in Fort Lee. That was a 2-2 game that night. Played last year in Ordell, a 4-1 win for Riverdale. 2 years ago in the season that saw Fort Lee pick up wins in both the Bergen County and sectional state playoffs. Riverdale was victorious 1-0 on the road against Fort Lee, or again, Riverdale. And wouldn't mind a 1-0 victory here today as well. Try to get to 7-6-1 on the season and make it 4 wins in their last 5 contests. Fort Lee in the home pink. Their special October Cancer Awareness Month uniforms, and Riverdale in the road white and black. Stolen away. Malott had done a nice job of just venturing further and further up the field. Curling ball, header attempt right in front of the goal. Good job of staying right in the middle of the net that time was Elias Alkin. He read the eyes of where that header attempt was coming from. Zozcan was producing a great opportunity in front for Riverdale. Nice build up there for the Golden Hawks. Kaplan tried to make the spin move on the defender. Could not get around him, though. Colucci was all over him like a shadow. Kaplan steals it away this time. Again, we're trying to spin away. Got contacted, lost possession. Here comes Riverdale in the counterattack. They've got a cutter advancing down the far side. Good job there of closing the gap by Fort Lee defensively. Goes out of play to the far side. Again, if you're just joining us, looks like head coach Demba Main was ejected early on in the second half by the official on the far side. He is currently standing behind the team bench in fencing on the far side of the Sugarman Sports Complex. So not that far away, certainly within earshot of his assistant coaches who have now inherited the head coaching roles. Long ball the other way. Fort Lee trying to track it down, trying to make a mistake here, but good sound defending there. Yanum looked like for a moment might have lost that possession inside the box, but he settled it down and won back the ball. Kanto chipping that one forward, but a little too far for his teammate. Game's starting to open up a little bit more here. Rolling over to the far side corner flag area. Fort Lee doing a good job of not surrendering that corner. Volleyed up top. Good job by Daniel Lee of settling it down. Gets deflected to the far side. That'll roll its way out of bounds. Should be a throw-in now for Fort Lee in the offensive third. As we come up in the final 15 minutes. Throw in. Headed up in the air, now over to the near side. Fort Lee playing it at the feet of Luis Rodriguez. Just come into the game. Rodriguez, number 16. Playing it to the near side as Daniel Lee tried to win back possession. Came back to Kang. Deflected last touch off of Riverdale. Fort Lee playing a much better second half. Again, they had the best shot opportunity of the game on a breakaway. Naoki Dartley didn't miss by much. That would have given Fort Lee the lead at 1-0 at that point. Fort Lee has already one scoreless tie on the year. That came back on September 16th against Nutley. It's their lone tie of the season. Headed away out of bounds. It's going to be a corner kick now coming up on the near side corner flag for Fort Lee. So here's an opportunity on the set piece. Just looking for that one moment of brilliance here for the Bridgemen. And they'll offer it up in the near side corner. Can they find someone in the box? The backside, post side. No harm there for the defense. Fort Lee does track it down, though, on the wide side. Playing it at the feet of Dartley. Dartley, good maneuvering. Chipping it inside the box, trying to be cleanly bounced down, but again, Fort Lee not able to turn and fire with it. They Got to get some shots up here. Rodriguez trying to get around that wide side. Could not track it down in time. Through the legs and back to the defense. So after all of that buildup, Fort Lee still not able to really produce a shot on target. Here's Dartley on the far side. Nippus really, the only time I could think of was credited with maybe one save at most so far in this game. Fort Lee's got to get shot opportunities here. They've been trying to be a little too perfect with their link-up passes. Sometimes all you need is a dirty goal in front and a rebound finish. Nice start and stop by Gallucci. Played back as the Golden Hawks will see that go out of bounds for their throw-in. Sub coming onto the field for Riverdale. Dangerous ball into the box, a little pushing. No foul in the play, simply goes back to Fort Lee. Bridgman have had a propensity of winning these tight affairs. Different points here at home as well. Ridgefield Park, the most recent victim of the Bridgman 1-0 victory. Fort Lee held on for dear life at the end of that game. Able to knock off the Scarlets. Good ball there for Riverdale. It's still dangerous. Trying to drive at it, but eventually it goes out of bounds. Riverdale was trying to track it down while Fort Lee was boxing them out before that went out of bounds for the eventual goal kick. Quickly approaching the final 10 minutes of regulation. Played backwards. Nice 1-2. Trying to find a connection down the near side. Goes out of bounds, and now Riverdale trying to build up a little more offensive possession themselves. Deflects again all the way to Alcan, and 9.5 minutes remaining here in a scoreless game here in the second half. Played wide to the far side as Riverdale trying to track it down, playing it back to their keeper. And Nippus had to come off his line to get that one away. Rodriguez had to cut her down that near side, but could not link it up with him. Be a throw in here. As Fort Lee was trying to get down to it. Stepping up. Now here's Dartley. Dartley maneuvering through a couple of defenders. Fadeaway shot falling backwards, and now it goes to the wide left side. And Dartley could have been potentially the hero here on his senior night if he had found the back of the net with his breakaway shot attempt down the near right side. Just missed it. He assisted on the lone goal in the last game, was a hero in the win against Cliffside Park. Does he have something else up his sleeve here tonight? Golden Hawks lose it on their side of midfield. Again, Fort Lee playing it off to space on the far side with Yerrick Blanco, number 17, who's coming to the game. Fort Lee gets to it, but again, kind of surprised. You're that close to the corner flag. Why not try to ricochet it off the defender, earn your team a corner with 7.5 minutes left to go? They were trying to do a little too much. Ball was deflected. Here's Shinoda. Momentarily, there was an injured player behind the play. That was defender number 14, Michael Conta, the sophomore. He limps to his spot. They need him to be at full strength here, trying to be a sound defender in front of the net. Time running out on these opportunities here for the Bridgemen. Fort Lee really needs a win here tonight for their ultimate playoff chances. They are trying to chase down the teams in front of them, Montville and Dover. Dover, the last team in the field, 176 power points coming into tonight's action. Fort Lee at 162.5. So 13.5 power points behind that last team that would be in the field of 16. A win against Riverdale would jump them well over Dover and Montville. Built up on the far side, the Bridgemen trying to get past that last defender. The ball was left behind, though. Here's an opportunity. Trying to chip that in front. It's dangerous. The ball was left behind. It comes out to Kang. Kang mishits it to the far right side. Nippes came off his line to try to punch that one away. He did so, but punched it right up top to a Fort Lee player. The net was vacant, and Fort Lee was not able to get it on target. Another missed opportunity there for the Bridgemen. Coming up on the final 5 minutes of regulation. Again, centering ball. There's a shot. Nippes with a save. Follow-up shot is a goal for Fort Lee. Oh, what a finish. Fort Lee celebrates in front. It was a dazzling save at first for Nippes, but a rebound finish in front for the Bridgemen. And Fort Lee has garnered that goal they so desperately were looking for. 5:04 left to go in regulation. It's a 1-0 advantage, and it looks like it might have been Luis Rodriguez who's credited with the goal. The junior would score his first goal of the season. If that is the case, he was getting the adulation and the high fives from his teammates coming back on defense. So Fort Lee now in the driver's seat. Have a chance here, 5 minutes away from procuring a huge, an enormous win here. And a win that could open up playoff opportunities for this side. That ball went out of bounds to the far side. Will be a throw-in deep in the defensive third for the Bridgemen. 4:30 and counting, so Fort Lee has to wait until the final 5 minutes of regulation to score the game's first goal on a rebound finish by Luis Rodriguez. Again, credit Jonah Nippes, the senior goalie for Riverdale. He made a point-blank save on a beautiful centering pass shot opportunity. But that's what kind of I was calling for. It's get the shots up and see if a rebound could be out in front. Those dirty goals count too. Fort Lee not able to get to it there as Blanco tried to make a move around that last defender. Freshman was a little slow to get to his feet as well. 3:55 and counting. Riverdale trying to produce a late equalizer. Up top to Blanco. Again, Blanco trying to win back the possession. Fort Lee doing all this out without the services of their head coach, Demba Main. He's on the far side of the field behind the fencing. believe that he was shown 2 yellow cards in the second half by the official. That may also mean that Demba cannot coach the next game for Fort Lee. We'll find out afterwards. But this is an enormous result if Fort Lee can hold on in the final 3 minutes and change. Trying to get it up top to Blanco. Yanum, fancy footwork, getting it back to his offensive side. Riverdale's going to be trying to administer a little more pressure here, as Fort Lee will have the throw-in the far side of the field with 3 minutes and counting left to go. Again, as I just said, Fort Lee 18th in power points coming into the game here today. Riverdale 15th. Riverdale would be in the playoffs. Fort Lee just on the outside looking in. Things can change dramatically with the result here tonight for Fort Lee. They've been playing their best soccer this season. If they hold on to win here, they will have won 4 out of their last 5 on the season. This is also a chance for them to get above 500. Since the last time they were at 500, they were 2-1 in the season back on September 14th after a win against the Paramus Catholic Paladins. 2:19 and counting. Riverdale with a sense of urgency, trying to move it up the field in the offensive third. Choi trying to backtrack. He can't get to it. Little pushing and shoving. And eventually they're going to say that the foul goes against Riverdale. That was precarious defending as well, because if Fort Lee commits a foul in that area, that would lead to a penalty kick opportunity. Instead, a foul will set up a free kick just in front of the end line. Bridgman sending it long. Chested down. Fort Lee doesn't need to score again. They want to gain possession, do a little time wasting. They can't garner the possession, though. Throw in for Riverdale on the far side of the field, coming up in the final 90 seconds of the second half. Play it over to the near side. Chested down to the top of the box, left behind, though. Over to the far side. Headed down. Pinballs in front. Fort Lee trying to track it down. Trying to shield off an attacking player. They should go for the ball instead of trying to go for the man. That's deflected out of play. Last touch off of Fort Lee. Galucci winning the corner here for Riverdale on the near side. Much like the waning moments of the game against Ridgefield Park, Fort Lee and their faithful going to be holding their collective breaths right now. 54 seconds and counting left to go. Galucci in the corner. Low lining driven ball. Deflects out in space to the far side. Fort Lee trying to track it down. Headed in front, and Alcan still on his line there, despite his weight starting to shift over to the near post side. Was able to range back and make a simple catch. Waste a couple more precious seconds. Now it's only 30 seconds left to go in regulation. The sophomore trying to close in on another clean sheet victory. Fort Lee's got the flair for the dramatic the last couple of games here at home. Goes out of bounds to the near side. Will it be a successful senior night here for the Bridgemen? 15 seconds left to go. Fort Lee in no rush whatsoever to throw this one in. Kang is being whistled to come back to the ball. The clock continues to slowly meander its way down. 5 seconds left to go. Kang throws it into the offensive end, and time will expire at an enormous result here for Fort Lee. A result that might punch their playoff ticket for the Bridgemen for another season, as Demba Main's side procure a late goal in the second half, courtesy of Luis Rodriguez, number 16, a rebound finish in front, and Fort Lee defeats Riverdale by a final score of 1-0. Fort Lee will improve to 7-6-1 on the season. Riverdale will go to 6-7 overall. Rodriguez is hoisted upon the shoulders of his teammates, as they know that might be just enough for Fort Lee to get into the playoffs. They still have work to do on Saturday against Hasbrook Heights, but that is when the playoff cutoff date is. So if Fort Lee takes care of business, as we're hearing in this song, takes care of business in their last game, I'd expect that to be a playoff ending here for Fort Lee today. And for Riverdale, they have one more shot before the cutoff, as they'll travel to take on Pascack Hills their next time out and have an opportunity to maybe secure a playoff spot as well. So that'll end our broadcast coverage here of senior night at Fort Lee Sugarman Sports Complex. For Renee Matisich and Dimitri Nanis, I'm Dan Long saying so long and congrats to the 6 seniors on Fort Lee Senior Night who go home happy with a 1-0 victory. Take care, everybody.